What's good, y'all? It's your boy Lycan here, back with another Marvel Rival video, and this video is going to be your guide on how to play Cyclops. Before we get started, do me a favor, subscribe. I'm trying to get partnered on YouTube. I need 500 subscribers. Currently, we're at 62. I'm thankful for all 62 of you that are subscribed, and I'm hopeful to get many more. Also, like the video. If you enjoy Marvel Rivals content, you enjoy my content, drop a like, subscribe, and comment down below anything you want to know or just any old other comment. I respond to all comments. I read all my comments. I love comments. I love talking to people. I'm a yapper if you can't tell. But enough of that. Let's get into the video. This is my guide on how to play Cyclops. Okay, so we're going to be going over Cyclops' moveset now. So, first up in his moveset, well, first off, let's get started with Cyclops is unique. He's not like every other character. He's different. A lot of people like to say he's like if Hela and Moon Knight had a baby, and he's not. Because if you think about with Hela, she has a burst option, yes. She has her primary, yes. She has her stun, and she has her bird, yes. Moon Knight, he has, I guess you would consider that to be his burst option, his Ankh, which is a little different, and then he has his movement options, obviously. Cool, right? Actually, let me turn on unlimited abilities with 2 seconds. Rise and fall. Cyclops is not like that. Cyclops has his movement abilities, and he has his burst option. That's it. And then obviously his ult. But he gets his alternative fire. So now we're going to go through his moveset. First up is Optic Blast, his primary. His primary, this is where people are trying to say he's like Hela. And he can 2-tap very easily. If you hit all headshots, he's a demon. Like, he a demon. But what makes him different in Optic Blast is that it brings back his ricochet. First off, it recharges his E. So it accelerates every time you hit an enemy, it gives you back ricochet force, which is his E. What ends up working out and making it so good is that my head, look at that. Like, I'm aiming at the Phoenix Force. I'm not aiming at Jean, but look at that. That's a headshot. His hitbox on his move is much bigger than you would actually think. Like, look at where I'm aiming. That's a headshot. Look at where I'm aiming at the Phoenix Force head, and I'm getting a headshot on Jean. So his Optic Blast has a much bigger hitbox than advertised. And so, because a lot of people don't understand what hit scan, and it's not just him, by the way. Everybody's, like, if you look at Hela's primary and like the hitbox of it, it's so much, like, look at how big it is. Then you compare it to, say, like, look at how big Cyclops is. Then you compare that to, say, Phoenix. Like, it's not as big as Cyclops. And then you might compare that to, say, Bucky. Like, it's not as big. So everybody's primaries is a different size. And because of that, it allows you to... You have to have a crosshair to be able to understand where your hitbox is. And have a rough estimation on what you're doing. Damage wise, like I said, as you can see, pretty much you can 2-tap. You can, cause I'm almost certain what Phoenix is 275 HP. No, I'm sorry, 250. So Phoenix is 250. So you go 1 headshot, 1 body shot, E, she's dead. Or 1 body shot, 1 headshot, dead. Or you can just body shot, E, and then they're pretty much dead. That's 249. They're pretty much dead. One body shot, one headshot. Dead. Or you can just body shot, E, and then they're pretty much dead. That's 249. They're pretty much dead. So that's his optic blast. It's a good move. It's a move that you have to have some understanding of it. Like I said, like you have to get used to that hitbox. And my advice is just pretty much aim to the right of the character. Like, because it doesn't necessarily need to be Gene. It can be anybody. And pretty much, as long as you're aiming to the right of them. Another popular character that you typically are going to run. Because another character you'll probably challenge is Hela. So, once again, look at where check where my crosshair is. And we're going to slow. I'm hitting what, the tip of her horn?
No contingency plans needed.
And that's a headshot. So, he has a very big hitbox. So, that's his optic blast. His other primary like move is concussive beam. This is where he gets he's like Moon Knight stick from, because this can bounce him. He has a bunch of like this, and his E can bounce between targets. You'll see the gauge on the right side, and pretty much the initial target will take a majority of the damage, and then it will ricochet from the initial target to the next target all the way down to a point where I believe you can chain it up to 5 people, and at that point they are just all taking damage, but they're not going to be taking as much damage each way down the chain. The farther down the chain you go, the less damage they'll be taking. As you said, I killed the first Hela, but the second Hela is at half health. And if they were all 3 together, if I could get all 3 of them side by side, you would see it even better. Like it just doesn't work like that.
No contingency plans needed.
So that's his concussive beam. It's good. Once again, it also charges your E. So pretty much both of his primaries will charge your E. His E is a very weird move. We'll get to that. Propulsion blast. Essentially, propulsion blast is your escape option. If you're trying to get away from something, like you can, like, see if I can do it. Like you can hit somebody with it, but as you can see, there you go. And it applies a slow effect. Realistically, you are never going to hit somebody with this. Your goal is not to hit people with this. Your goal is to get away. You're using this as a get out of, like, oh, a BP's on you, bam. Oh, Wolverine's on you, bam. Pretty much any melee-based characters in your face, you're probably going to end up using this to just get up high. And then you can also slowly come down with his passive to be in concussive force and be able to do that. But that's for the most part what you're using propulsion burst for. Like I said, it has a slow effect on it if they manage to get hit by it, but you're not. Oh, I'm sorry, that's optic ascent, not propulsion burst. This is propulsion burst. You will be using this as well. These are his 2 escape options. This also applies a slow effect on people. This is in case you're like, if somebody's in your face, like a melee based character, they're in your face and up on you, your Ange is on you, you're gonna just pretty much hold it and knock them back, and you'll knock them back and be able to create space. Oftentimes what I like to do is I like to ascend and then back. I don't like personally going back then up, because then you're up in the air and you're just a flying target. Because even if you don't like hit optic, use your concussive burst. It's like, oh, okay, bam, bam. You're just an easy target to snipe. Like, I'm not personally a fan of that. So it's like, ugh, no. But otherwise the move is good. Optic ascent and propulsion burst, they're pretty much his movement based abilities. The whole purpose of it is you're using it to get away. You're using it as a get out of jail free card. You need to back you're somebody's pressing you because he is a hit. He does not have a, once again, like Hela, he doesn't have a stun. So if somebody's on you, you're cooked. You don't get to sit up there, oh, I got BP on me, stun. No. Your stun is that, and that applies to slow, and it's not a stun. Like,
So it was done.
you get these two, and that's it. Also, let's go to his primary. I'm sorry, that's primary. His ultimate. His ult is. His ultimate is pretty much a bunch of language saying like it destroys all barriers and does massive damage in this the second hit. What isn't in there is the fact that,
So it was done.
and also once again, if you look at where I'm aiming at. I'm aiming at his shoulder blade, but that's giving me a hit. Like, that shouldn't hit, but it does. That shows you how big his hitbox is. But that we're done with the primary. Let's talk about his ult. His ult, what it doesn't tell you in the text is it scales based off of max HP.
Got my eye on
So essentially, the amount of damage done is dependent upon who the target is. So it does more damage to tanks and less damage to those who have less health. See, it one-shot at Rocket, right?
Cyclops was right.
Rocket's only got 250 health. It didn't one-shot Groot, but it did 90% of his health because it scales based off of max HP. I'll edit in and like show you the exact percentage, but essentially it scales based off max HP. It destroys Groot walls. It destroys any type of shield, any shield, any barrier, like Deadpool unicorn. Yeah, no. Tank Pool's unicorn, destroyed. Doesn't matter. Literally any type of barrier, you pop off, it goes away.
Knew I saw
What
trouble.
also isn't talked about is there are 3 forms of damage in that determine how much damage overall the target will take. So you see the 2 barriers on the side. The 2 barriers on the side
Force boost.
also, you have the barriers on the side, the beam itself, and then there's a secondary beam that's straight down the middle wherever you're aiming, where this aim is. It also deals damage. So you pretty much need to line up where the red I was about to call it an escalator, but the red escalator goes, like that's where you need to make sure it's lined up perfectly, because if it isn't, they're gonna like take some, like for example, as you see, he didn't take as much damage there. Why? Because see, he's in it, but he's not taking as much damage.
Contingency plans needed.
That's amazing!
Mission.
That did 90% that time.
Way to go!
Whereas in that, barely did, we'll say 60, 70. So it's just different. You need to make sure that you get them directly in the middle, the target that you want to hit. My advice is to use Groot. You want to use Groot. You want to use Groot's ult, Ange ult. Pretty much any ult that is going to keep them, that's going to group the targets together and keep them stationary. Even Emma, you want to use it so that way you can get that ult off.
Double kill!
Okay, so we've gone over the primary, both primaries. We've gone over his movement tech. His passive is part of his primaries, and the fact that it allows you just, all it is you floating. Only thing left now is this move. This move, his E, Ricochet Force, is his most complicated move in the game. And the fact that NetEase, all they have is fire a beam that can diffract and track nearby enemies after hitting terrain. Upon use, Cyclops gains bonus health. It's some secret text that they don't tell you about in this move that irritated me because I had to sit here and figure it out like a dummy. So, we're going to change Groot now to Hella, because Hella is 250, correct? Make sure I'm not. Yeah, Hella's 250. So, this is his E. Base damage,
Got my eye on
headshot,
some gas. Maximum impact.
right?
8 optic blast.
Basic damage, right?
Right on target.
It doesn't.
Double kill.
If you look at it like that, it would take three.
Perfect angle.
You would have to hit 3 direct hits to get the kill. Cool.
Right on target.
So, as you see, it's doing more damage.
Wow, 4 in a row.
Like, why is it doing more damage? I know that's what you're probably asking.
5. That's amazing.
You had to sit here and figure that out because it was irritating me. It was irritating me because if I'm lying, you probably had the situation happen. You'll sit there, you'll get somebody low, you'll be shooting them like, oh, okay, cool. They low, you go to do that, they don't die for some odd reason. Because the damage is different. The damage is completely different than if you
Knew I saw trouble.
bounce it off of something compared to a direct hit.
Kill.
This is the damage when it's bounced off of something.
Perfect angle.
That's
Now, it's still 3 hits, but it's much more damage, as you see.
Maximum impact.
wow, 4 in a row.
That's bouncing off.
Maximum impact.
That's direct hit. The reason is,
Sorry, but I never miss.
according to the Marvel Rival website, if you hit the damage, he gets a 20% bonus damage if it bounces twice off of something. I know, it makes no sense. But because that's not in the text. It just says fire a beam that can defract and track enemies after hitting terrain. You get bonus damage based off of the number of times it reflects. The more it reflects, the more bonus damage you get. You get 10% extra bonus damage for every time it reflects. So his E, you don't want a direct impact. You don't want to be sitting there like, oh, I'm sitting up here, yeah, I'm fighting hella, up. Like, no, you don't, and right, that one even missed. But like, you know, you don't want to do that. What you want to have happen is, oh, hella low, bam.
3.
You want to be able to reflect it multiple times to then be able to get that bonus damage. But the problem is, you have to bounce it twice. You only get it only works up to twice, but you get 10% per bounce or up to 20% extra damage. Correction. Stand corrected. So, once again, you're going to have it on the screen. After the first refraction, each additional refraction increases the damage by 10% up to 20%. So, essentially, you have to make this thing bounce 3 times to get an extra bonus 20% damage. So it just, because I'm aiming at this specific spot, I'm getting the bonus damage.
Now that's good optics.
But an extra 20%, the base damage of the move is 80. So that's 80 damage. See? Which is different. So that, you have to get used to that. That is something that you have to take into consideration for him. It becomes difficult in the heat of battle, especially when everything's going on. Like I said, you're sitting up there fighting around and you're like, oh, hell is low. Like, you don't want to have to play geometry trying to figure out like hella and doing that. But yeah, it very much happens. His passive is something that he gives for Wolverine. I'll include it in the video. Activate the passive. It's a good passive for Wolverine. And Cyclops, obviously, because he's the anchor, he gets a 5% bonus damage for the season.
Thanks for the boost.
Baka.
Knew I saw trouble.
Wow, 4 in a row.
They don't go
You got them all.
Okay, so we gone over the moveset. Now we need to talk about his crosshair. We got to get you right to be able to make sure you're shooting straight. For me, the current crosshair you see on screen now is his default crosshair. Not every character, but certain characters have unique crosshairs if you play Hawkeye, you know this is Hawkeye's unique crosshair.
Double kill.
If you play Squirrel Girl, you know this is her unique crosshair.
They're like,
It can help you
"A
definitely
squirrel."
aim
And now they're like, ooh, a squirrel.
with it. This is Cyclops' unique crosshair.
Eat optic
I
blast.
personally don't find it to be. You might want to find it. You might find it good and comfortable. I think it's okay. Like I said, my main issue with it is the fact that it doesn't help the fact that I am not aimed at Luna. I'm aimed to the right of Luna. Look at where it is. It's still a headshot. Like, and I'm somebody who I've played so many shooters that I'm trained to aim for the head. Like that, like it's just what it is. It's ingrained in me from all the other first person shooters. Call of Duty, Halo, Quick, like pick a shooter. Gears, pick a shooter. I've always pretty much aim for the head. So
Wow, 4 in a row.
sitting there and having this where I'm like, oh, I'm getting a headshot if I aim to the right, it throws me personally off. But if you want to know how to get it, all you have to do is default and then reticle type default and you'll get this. Once again, that's your choice if you want to use it. Then you also have the tried and true. I believe this one was from Ghost, and it's good.
It needed doing, so it was
I
done.
personally prefer this more for projectile based characters because like you can like a Hawkeye because you can just line it up and it's like bam, it's a headshot. I don't really like it for hit scan characters.
Bet you didn't see that coming.
So this one is the one I came up with is my personal favorite. I pretty much, if you'll go through my character list,
Hell.
ooh, not with Hella. Excuse me,
I
did
may
they
be for
change?
Earth,
Did I
but
change
every
all
planet's
of
under
my?
protection now.
Yeah, it was default. So a majority of my hit scan characters are this, like whether it's Hella, Phoenix.
This is what the professor trained me for since I was just a child.
It's pretty much if I'm playing hit scan, which a majority,
Demons.
I'm pretty much going to be playing that.
Why can't a girl ever get a bloody day off?
Double kill.
So I personally prefer this crosshair for Cyclops. If you want this one for Cyclops, so slowly pause the video as you need it. I'll go through slowly so that way you can get it.
Got my eye on someone welcome guests.
So that is the one that I personally prefer. If you want this one, once again, the initial one that I showed
So it was
you,
done.
and then finally, this is another one that I've been using as well on my hit scan characters. It works out pretty good. Like I said, you just have to get used to the fact that you have to aim, like, aiming at the head doesn't give you what you think you're going to get from it, which is dumb. Rivals needs to fix
Got
that, in
eye
my
on someone
opinion.
welcome guests.
But if you want it, here it goes. Okay, so the next part of this is going to be Cyclops' strengths and weaknesses. And I'm going to start off with his weaknesses because his strength is very obvious. His weakness is he struggles with dive, he struggles with brawl. Cyclops is not like Hela. He is not like Phoenix. He is not like Moon Knight. He does not have this high mobility or stun like Hela and Phoenix, where if somebody's on top of you, you can just stun them and then get away. No, he just has getaway options. That's it. So, if a BP's on you, Hela can stun the BP and then bird away, and she's good. Cyclops can only just propulse or optic ascent away. That's it. So he struggles with his weakness. He struggles with characters like Angela. He struggles against characters like Venom, Cap. He struggles against characters like Hulk, Daredevil, Iron Fist. If that character can just be stuck to you like glue, like a little gnat that won't go away, I already said Venom, you're cooked. But if it's a character where they're trying to trade blows with you, like Squirrel Girl, he'll dominate. Flyers, he dominates. Storm, Ultron, Torch, but he's also hit scan, so it makes sense that he dominates Flyers. Iron Man as well. And then you talk about characters like, once again, Elsa, he can go back and forth with Elsa. But Bucky, he kinda sorta can deal with Bucky. But Magic, Emma, Loki, Mr. Fantastic. Mr. Fantastic can literally just run you down. Mr. Fantastic and Rogue. Mr. Fantastic, Rogue, Captain America, Venom, and Hulk and Daredevil are your 6 biggest weaknesses. And you know what they all have in common? They're all melee-based characters. If it's a melee-based character, more than likely, they are going to counter Cyclops. So we've gone over the character's moveset. We've gone over their crosshair you should probably use for them upon my recommendation. We've gone over his strengths and weaknesses. So now let's talk about final thoughts. Let's wrap it up. But first, before we get into the final thoughts, do me a favor. Like the video, comment down below any thoughts you have on Cyclops, and subscribe for more Marvel Rivals content because it would be greatly appreciated, and I'll appreciate all those that do. Let's get into this though. Overall, I feel like Cyclops is the most balanced hero we have gotten in a long time. Going through the releases of all the rest of the Marvel Rivals characters, so going through the release date for all the characters that we've gotten so far as DLC, we got the Fantastic Four. Mr. Fantastic, Invisible Woman, Human Torch, and Thing. None of them were broken. They were all perfectly balanced, good. They were good for the game. We then got Emma. Emma was where it was like, okay now, she has this hard stun. It's a really strong diamond form, damage reduction. It was really strong. She broke the tank meta, but she wasn't that broken. She was good, but she wasn't that broken to me. Ultron was good. They had to buff him some because of he only had a single drone. Phoenix on release was broken. That was when we got the first DPS that was broken. It was like, whoa. Then we got Blade. Blade wasn't broken. It was like they swung the opposite end of the pendulum. Blade was not broken on release, and he still isn't broken to this day. Angela was good, but then we got Daredevil, another broken DPS. He ran backlines. He still runs backlines to this day. Then we got Gambit. Gambit was a broken support. He was busted. People still think he's busted till this day. Rogue was okay. Deadpool was okay. Elsa, broken. Like, that's not even a discussion. Everybody believes Elsa was broken on release. White Fox wasn't that good. They had to buff her. Black Cat, broken. Another duelist that was broken on release. Devil Dino, another Vanguard that was broken on release. And then we finally got Cyclops. So Cyclops, finally a character that wasn't that broke. Like, he was broken. Like, let me not say broken, because that word gets used too loosely. He's good. He's not broken. He's not Elsa. He's not Daredevil. He's not Black Cat. He's not Gambit. He's not Phoenix. He's very good. He's in a good, sustainable place. I don't feel like he deserves to be buffed or nerfed. Leave him alone. Come out with the next characters are supposed to be Jubilee, the Hood, and Nightcrawler. Leave him alone. If Jubilee's the next character, wait till like season 9.5 and see before you might decide whether or not you want to buff or nerf Cyclops. He is fine as is. He is a fun hit scan character that if you can aim, he's good. But if you can't aim, he's bad. He's pretty much like Hawkeye. Hawkeye in the right hands destroys lobbies. Hawkeye in the average player hands, they just trash with him. That's just how it goes. That's how hit scan is. So I feel as though Cyclops is in a good spot right now. He's fun to play. He's just different. I'm really curious as to what he's going to be able to do to shake up the meta and shake up people's picks in the meta.